Committee schedule to order for the Alexandria City Council, October 5th, 2010. I would like to turn this portion over to Councilman at Large and his chairman, Myra Lawson, of Public Works and Zoning.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was arguing with the clerk that she was too early, my watch had stopped. Maybe indicative of. This time I asked that the clerk call the roll for the quorum.
Mr. Goins?
Present.
Mr. Hobbs?
Present.
Mr. Lawson?
Certainly. We do have a quorum. Item number 1, Public Works agenda is consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Gravity Drainage District for the cooperative projects located within the city limits of Alexandria. That's book item number 27. Is there a motion? That motion is made by Mr. Goins and is properly seconded by Mr. Hobbs. Any discussion on that motion? You learn the rest, Nanny? Okay, hearing it, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. The other business needs to come before the Public Works and Zoning Committee meeting. Hearing no one approach, then that concludes Public Works and Zoning Committee meeting, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. The next committee meeting, we'll go directly into the legal committee with the chairman, Councilman Harry Silver.
Okay, legal committee will come to order. Those present are Mr. Hobbs, Mr. Goins, and myself. We have one item listed and two others to come before the committee. The first one is to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the low bid submitted for annual uniform bid for fire and police departments. There was only one bid submitted, and Mr. Despino said that was it, but it met all qualifications.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We'll recommend that to the committee. Mr. Trey, you have to introduce two things that we feel are rather important right now. It's rather loosely catched, but I think it's be explanatory.
The administration has one matter that we would like to offer for consideration. It's an introduction of an ordinance to authorize the mayor on behalf of the city to enter into a lease with Jensen Construction Company of a half-acre tract or parcel of land and improvements located adjacent to and adjoining Tract C of the Alexandria Industrial Park, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Very briefly, and as just explained by the proposal, Jensen Construction Company is the contractor for the OK Island Bridge replacement. They will be moving into the community over the next several weeks. They have a number of employees coming from both Tulsa, Oklahoma, as well as Des Moines, Iowa. They have been looking for a construction headquarters convenient to the location of the bridge. This is as close as we could get them. It's an older building the Corps of Engineers used in the industrial park. They revoked their lease about 6 months ago, and that building is now available. We're proposing a 48-month lease.
What's the consideration, please?
We'll be getting $500 a month. There's about 1,200 square foot structure and two portable buildings that's considered. The contractor will be doing all the maintenance and repairs. They'll have to keep up the HVAC. There's a fence at the property, and we're there to provide their own utilities.
Can we entertain a motion that we, by unanimous consent, to recommend this to the committee at large?
We have to add on.
Add on?
To add.
Second.
And it would just be adding it to the agenda. It'll lay over 2 weeks.
Okay. Any further questions on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. And
Any
we'll-
public comment?
And public comment? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay.
We need a motion.
Now we have a motion that we accept the,
Introduce.
introduce this agenda.
Move.
Second, Jonathan? Second. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, fine. Item number 2, please.
Item number 2, and Mr. Roosevelt Johnson will mention something about this. If you saw in the paper, there's been a notification to the police jury and to the city regarding some concerns with Alexandria Post Office. We have proposed a resolution supporting the continuation of Alexandria, Louisiana Post Office, offering any necessary city assistance for the local postal service and mission, and encouraging the congressional delegation's able assistance in these regards.
Do you feel like explaining anything further before we take action on it as to why and how it parallels the acts of omission initially about 5 years ago?
Well, in 2007, there was to be a study done, and the city of Alexandria's regional office was going to be included at the time. Now, we were successful in going to Washington. The local delegation was able to eventually get the Alexandria office taken off of the watch list at that time. But apparently, the city of Alexandria's postal office is back on. And the importance of it, gentlemen, is that the local office receives mail from 108 local post offices throughout central Louisiana, from Vidalia to Leesville and from Natchitoches down to Bunkie and that parts of the state. That mail service employs a number of people here in central Louisiana who come into Ellick every day. It's not just a post office, there's actually a regional distribution network. The proposal, from what we understand from the media and some of the information Mr. Roosevelt Johnson and the administration have received, indicates some concern as to whether that will be closed, which will cause those jobs to have jeopardy, as well as the service here in central Louisiana, Mr.
How many jobs are in jeopardy?
When Mr. Roosevelt looked at this in '07, it was 200 jobs. Some of those were full-time jobs. Some of those were people who were working throughout central Louisiana who were driving back and forth every day. But we don't know the effect, but we think it would cost a number of those jobs to be shifted to Shreveport.
With that in mind, would you, by unanimous consent, state that we submit this to the full board this afternoon? All right. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. To the general public, any comment or any suggestion or any that you wish to offer? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. And a motion that we do introduce this by unanimous consent to the legal committee this afternoon.
Move.
Second? Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Is there anything else to come before legal? If not, we'll stand adjourned.
Reconvene at 5 o'clock for the council.